Woo! Time to stream some Halo. That's it. That's all I got. I'm actually not streaming Halo this time. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are tuned in or if you tune in later, today I'm going to be building Mega Constructs, Halo Mega Army with all of the figures that I have, or at least a lot of them, based on your feedback and just hanging out, talking some Mega bricks or Lego too. You know, either way, we don't discriminate. I think they're both great. But I'm going to start off with this base plate here and go on through. If you guys have any recommendations for figures, or if you want your figure to be featured on a display right here, one that I use in my channel often, then go ahead and hit that super chat button, donate to the channel, be super helpful to me, and then you'll get a figure right on top here. Whatever figure you pick, just comment in that super chat and let me know which figure you want, and I'll put it right on top of here, and it will be featured in an upcoming short that I'll do all about this display. So if that's interesting to you, hit that super chat button, help me out, and let's get started with some Halo Mega figures. So everything I have in front of me is a bunch of these tiles that Mega uses for their stuff. You can see right here that this guy's on one of the tiles, and then I have some too. They include these in almost all of their figure packs. They include them in almost all of their sets now too, in all different colors: black, gray, tan, green, mixtures. I even have some gold ones in here from the 10th anniversary, so I have plenty of stuff. Welcome to the stream, everyone. So from here on out, I'm going to be using all of these things to organize some figures. And I'm going to start with figures from the... That's a good question. What should I start with figures from? I think I'm going to start with Marines first, because those are some of my favorites. And I'm going to start with the old style of Marines. So these are going to be Halo Mega Block style Marines. And let's hang out and chat a little bit. I need to go grab something for my chat, so I will be right back. But stay tuned in the meantime. I will be right back in just a moment. Alright, Jack, Giselle, I'm officially back. I figured out my problem, and now I can kind of see what's going on, but I have my glasses as a backup in case I can't see at all, because I can't see without glasses, which sucks. But it is what it is. Okay, here we go. Got the chat over here, ready for me. Let's build some figures. So the first figure I have on here, this one is going off, but he might appear later. This is the Shipmaster from Halo 2, Mr. Halfjaw himself. But I think I'm going to start, as I said, with the Marines from a big tub right back here. This is my largest minifigure lot of just a bunch of random figures from mostly the Mega Bloks era. A lot of these are the older style ones. So we're going to start with these Marines here. Pop that guy for the figure camera and grab as many of the Marines as I can. I mean, including like Flame Marines, stuff like that. That guy, he's going in there. And all the different colors, everything to fill out this spot. I think if we go rainbow, maybe do like a rainbow of figures. How do we all feel about that? But welcome everyone to the stream. How's everyone's day going? I'm doing fine. This stream was a little bit difficult to set up. It's the double webcam is definitely different than what we did yesterday. And it caused a little bit of confusion for my phone to actually be able to see what I'm doing. But if the audio quality is good, let me know. If it's not good, also let me know. Just trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And then we can keep going here with these beautiful figures. So inside this pile of bin, you can kind of see it. All this piles and piles of figures. I have everything from pretty rare figures to figures that nobody wants, and everything in between. I also have all of my Marines from Halo 4 and 5 in here. These ones are the new articulation, but I really don't like Halo 4 and 5. Especially their art style, I think, is horrendous. So I don't like to keep those out. Those, I don't think I have ever had those in any of my videos, except maybe like once or twice to showcase them as part of a something. But yeah, Halo 4, Halo 5 Marines, they look terrible. They just have a bad design, and I hate the colors of them too. I mean, they're similar to this Marine, this one, but this Marine just looks 1,000 times better. And I don't know why 343 decided to do that, but it's pretty bad. But we're pulling out all the Marines that I've got right now. I'm going to start with these guys and stick them on. So what I'm going to do is go through and display each one of them, give them a little spin, and then put it on top of our display. So this one is the Flame Marine. This Marine came out in the original Elephant set, and there's actually a few variants of him that all came out in the Elephant set. I guess he wouldn't be considered a Flame Marine, just a regular Marine, but from Halo 3, who don't have the mask, and these are in the old style. So you can see like the shoulders here are a little bit different than what we're used to today. I would say that these figures are more of like a mashup, but close enough to Halo 3 that they kind of work. But they are a little bit different than what we would be seeing today. Obviously today they have the molds for everything, but back then I think they were just a little lazy. But they use the molds on these shoulders that are actually from the regular like Halo Wars Marines that they use for years. And this one, I mean, this one came in the Elephant as well, but this literally is the exact same Halo Wars Marine that we got from years prior. This one could be from 2009, could be from 2011 when we got the Elephant. It's the exact same. So if I do have multiples of these. If I find any more, they will not be going on display. But each one of these guys is going to get a little stand right here. I don't do any research. All of this info, most of it is information that I already had in my head, or just things that I already knew about Halo Mega in general, because I've been collecting it for a really long time, 15 years, this collection. And that's why we're doing this stream today, to commemorate And remember, 15 years of collecting all of this Halo Mega. It's been an awesome journey, and it's honestly incredible to have gotten all of this stuff, but it's definitely been tough too. I mean, it's not easy to collect this stuff, especially not anymore, since you can hardly find it. But there's our first 5 Marines. Our next guy is this one here. This one came out in the... It's from Halo 2. I can't remember what... It's a Covenant vehicle that only appeared in Halo 2. I don't know if I have a favorite figure that I have yet, but maybe I'll pick by the end of the stream out of one of the figures that I ended up pulling out today. But I do love Marines. Marines are some of my favorite figures. Maybe like the Sergeant Johnson from Halo 3, the Series 5 Halo Heroes. That one's pretty close to one of my favorite figures. But there's another Marine, and then the next one's coming up is a Tan Marine. This guy came out in a Warthog set quite a long time ago. He was actually released as part of like a huge Warthog, or I guess it was a troop carrier Warthog, troop transport Warthog, and there's just a ton of stuff in it. It was crazy good for the price. You got a lot of stuff. It's a Walmart exclusive. These days it doesn't exist as much, but you can find them around every once in a while. But this is a Tan Marine. There's other Tan Marines too inside the bin, but it was also included with, if you can see it, these Tan Spartans here. Those guys came in that set, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure. Here's another Marine. This Marine is another interesting one. It came out in a Battlescape. And some of these Marines are from like troop packs. This is back when Halo Mega was at its peak, and it was crazy how much you could actually buy, and you could find this stuff everywhere. But these days, you can't find any of this stuff except at Amazon. So that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Here's some more Marines. I don't see any other Tan ones. I know that I have a Tan Marine somewhere in here, I think. I thought so. We can talk about this guy. Another one of the Halo 4 and 5 ones that are disgusting. These ones are cool as well. This is bringing back all the memories. There's our first few. Alright. So, this Marine going up on his little stand here, over here. And then the next one is going to be a Sergeant. This Marine came out a little bit later, this Sergeant. He's in the style of Halo 3, but he's got that huge fat head that is incredibly large for the size of the figure, but it actually worked out really well with this style back then, and it's one of the best Marines I think we've gotten as far as the Sergeant ones go. And he came out in a 4-pack of 4 different figures that ended up just being part of that pack with like a random Halo 4 or a random ODST. Yeah, so he was just there. And then we have some of the Special Ops Marines. This one is another one of my favorites. This is probably one of the best looking Marines that we've ever gotten, because there have been a ton of colors, but silver... Oh, I dropped it. He's gone. Silver is not one that we've seen a lot of. But this is a silver Marine in the Halo 3 style with that little... You can tell because of the monocle right here, or whatever eyepiece, glass, whatever that is. And that guy is probably one of the coolest Marines from this older art style. I think these ones are pretty cool. The next guy came from a battle pack. Or not a Battlescape. The Battlescapes are something that Mega did a long time ago, basically to allow you to build on a big giant base plate. It was nothing that I'd ever seen before from any like company that made building toys, because the entire thing was this big plastic base plate. There was no... I mean, Lego's done stuff similar, but they haven't done anything as large, and the point of what it was to connect it with a whole bunch of other Battlescapes. And they ended up doing 4 different ones, I believe. I have 3 of them. The only one I don't have is the Snowbound Battlescape, but I have all the figures from it. I just don't have the actual Battlescape, which sucks, but it is what it is. My favorite Halo mission in any Halo game? That's a good question. I think my favorite mission in any Halo game is... Ooh. A few different missions come to mind. The very last mission of Halo 3 is awesome. I think that one brings together a lot of the best parts of Halo, like the fighting between the Flood and the Sentinels, and then obviously it's like the big climax. The Warthog run is fantastic. So that one, I think I would pick that. Or the mission where it plays One Final Effort. That is one of the Halo 3 songs. That is The Covenant. That's what it's called. The mission, The Covenant on Halo 3, that one is an awesome mission. You start right with your boots on the ground with a bunch of Marines, and then there's 3 different areas to go to. It's a huge open mission. That's what Halo Infinite should have been. It was super incredible. But the next Marine we got here is a blue guy with kind of a silver metallic paint. This is something that, a color that I don't think we see in Mega very much anymore. But he's in the Halo Wars style of figure and of Marine style with a nice little backpack there. And that is another Marine we place on here. And then I'm going to a Spec Ops Marine. These ones I also think are really awesome for a few different reasons. The first one is they look really cool. He's in more of a Halo 2, Halo 3 style, but he's got the goggles instead of just that one like eye thing. And they did a really good job right here with the painted detail. You can see right on the shoulder that there's a UNSC logo, if you can kind of make that out. And the rest of him is just like a really great figure, but he also has fantastic movement. The joints, I don't know if it's these arm sockets, these ones right here, that are just really smooth. I think it's because the molding, maybe it's a different material, but it feels really good to move around in your hands. Like these are some of the best figures that Mega have made as far as the movement and the feel of it goes. So that one is a positive. Next Marine is another blue guy. This blue guy is a mix of that Halo Wars style with the chest plate and then everything down here, but then has the Halo 2/Halo 3, maybe Combat Evolved, probably not Combat Evolved, eyeglasses with no mask on it. And he looks pretty good too, just sort of basic. Same thing with this next guy, who is also sort of basic. Welcome to the chat, everyone who's joined. Guy, my favorite Halo game is Halo 3. It will always be my favorite Halo game. It's clearly the best. I think Master Chief makes a big difference in a Halo game, whether or not he's featured a ton. And then my favorite part about Halo 3 is just the level design and the climactic finale. We got to fight on Earth. We got to fight on technically another Halo ring. We got to fight on the Ark. It was just like it was the perfect finale, and having the Arbiter and 3 other elites be along with you as part of the story, it was also really cool to play co-op in that way. So Halo 3 is my favorite for sure. The next Marine we've got up here is an orange guy. This one has the Halo Wars style again. It's just done in orange with a little bit of speckling, like you can see on top right there, with his helmet head thing, whatever. And he's just kind of an interesting Marine. He's sort of just there. But that's all these Marines we've got so far. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Marines out here. Reach is pretty good. I do agree that Reach is really good. It's just not my absolute favorite all-around Halo game. Just because the multiplayer... it's good. Like, it's fun to play, and the customization's awesome. I played a little bit of it yesterday while I was streaming. But I just have a problem with sprint and with armor abilities in Halo. I really like what Infinite did. I think they toned down the sprint a little bit, which helps a lot. But I feel like sprint doesn't mesh well with a lot of Halo Sandbox, especially the energy sword and the gravity hammer. Those things are insanely powerful and easy to use in Halo Reach. You can just run around with the energy sword and whack people all day long and you will win. Assuming you're not terrible. And I am terrible, so maybe that doesn't help either. Okay, I've got some more Marines out here. And a bonus figure with no head. And we're going to talk about a problem with Halo Mega. Campaign guy, as far as campaign goes, I think Halo Reach does a fantastic job. Halo Reach has a really great campaign. Here's a Snowbound Marine. This is the exact same type, just a different color. We've almost gotten the whole rainbow of the Marines. But then we have, this is probably my favorite Marine, maybe even of all time. If it had the new articulation, I would say it is my favorite Marine. But this is the Halo Reach Marine, calling you out, guy, for the Halo Reach right now. This Marine came out with a few different Halo Reach sets from way back, I think in 2012, maybe 2013. But this Marine is awesome. He looks so good in this armor. And just the paint detailing. This is one of the most detailed figures that Mega has ever done in this older art style. And it just looks so good. It's so good. And they did such a great job. I wish that they had remade this. I know that they've made CE Marines in the new art style, but this needs to be remade. Just this figure, even if it's not accurate, it needs to be remade. It's so good. All right, the next guy we've got coming up here is another Marine, yellow guy. And he's got the Halo 2 helmet, Halo Wars, everything else. Just a Marine. Classic, basic, kind of boring, honestly. We've seen him. We've seen him before. He's in yellow. That's it. But the next figure I want to talk about is one of the reasons I'm happy that Mega switched to the new style of figures. And this is a problem. Now, you may know, obviously, that you can switch the heads off of figures. It's not that difficult, right? I can pull this one off and that, that's how it's supposed to be. You can switch things because of the ball joint, which I think is nice. But the problem comes from when you actually want to switch the head, or they used to do this thing where you would get extra armors to switch them off. And this is one of those figures, a Golden Elite that came in the Seraph set. And this, unfortunately, can no longer have a head placed onto it. The reason for that is because if you look at the regular figure, it has the ball joint attached to the body. And with the Elites, for whatever reason, I might have... trying to see if I have another one with a good example. For whatever reason, with some of the Elites, if eventually this socket right here will just pull out. So it technically isn't broken, but it will oftentimes break or not actually go back into the socket so you can put the head on the ball joint. Because of that, this Elite is now useless to me. And he's one of the most beautiful Elites that they made in that old style. He feels really buttery smooth, the joints are great, everything but the head is perfect, which is really, really sad. The next figure we're going to talk about is one figure that I think is one of my first figures ever, but it came out in a pack a long time ago. I'm reading comment from Guy. A little off topic. I do have blind bag figures. I'm actually planning on opening a blind bag every few minutes. So let's open one right now, shall we? But I have a bunch of... some of these are from blind bag figs. Like, I'm sure that one of the Halo 4 ones is. Let's see. Blind bags. Off the top of my head, I know that this is from a blind bag. This little gummy guy. This gummy Elite right here. I don't know which series this is from, but these are the chase figures. So you got two figures in one when you got one of those, and it was incredible. They don't do that anymore. Probably because it was expensive. I don't know, but I was sad. But that guy, he is definitely from a blind bag. Speaking of blind bags, I have some. I actually have an entire case of, these are the newest blind bags. This is the Halo Universe Series 3. I have an entire case of these sitting over there, waiting to be opened. But for now, we're going to open a random one and see what we got. Because I have this case. I opened all the good ones from this one, so this is probably going to be like a Spartan or something. Oh, actually I lied. This is a Flood Brute. Time to put it on. A Flood Brute with the Spiker, which I'm not going to put on him right now, but I will later. This is one of my favorite figures that Mega has ever done at the Flood. We've been waiting for a Flood Brute for 15 years. It took them that long to finally make this figure. It never existed in the old art style. I mean, not really. And they finally made it. So there's a blind bag figure for you. One of the greatest Halo Mega figures, I think, to date, honestly. The molding is really awesome. This arm is the same one that we've gotten with the other Flood figures, the new ones, so that's fine. But really, what we're focused on is this body mold. which is perfect. It comes built and everything, and just it looks incredible. I can't believe it took them this long to have Flood Brutes, but the Flood Brute is probably one of the most underrated figures of this line, but it's definitely worth it, and everyone needs a Flood Brute. If I could change anything in the new Halo games, what would I change? That's a really good question. And it would start with 343. I would change what they wanted out of a Halo game. I feel like most Halo games, or at least the ones that they've made, have been completely cash grabs, which I get. Halo is Microsoft cash cow, or it was, so it makes sense to want to get money out of it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't want that, but the reason that I think Halo was so successful before with Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, ODST, even Halo Wars, because it was really catered to their audience, right? Like, Bungie did a really good job at making it fun for their audience. They backtracked when things didn't work out, like in Halo 2 when you weren't the Arbiter the entire time, so they backtracked and made, you could play as Master Chief and the Arbiter. You weren't stuck with one or the other at a time. But they also just did a good job at making sure that the game stayed Halo. Like, from Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 3, they all feel the same, even though they played a little bit differently. But with Halo 4 through Halo Infinite, it's so hard to tell which game 343 wants to make. And all they really care about, at least it seems like, is the stupid microtransactions, which I've never bought in Halo Infinite. I never will. But it's disappointing that rather than being a trendsetter, Halo became a trend follower and followed the trend of microtransactions that ruined games. I mean, I can think of a bunch of different games where microtransactions really hurt the actual gameplay because you had to buy it. I mean, take Halo 5, for example. There was a whole game mode where if you paid money, you would actually have more fun, right? Warzone, where you could buy different, like, vehicles. You could of course buy armors in packs too, but for Warzone specifically, you could buy vehicles, you could buy weapons, and then use them in game once you kind of unlock them, once you got to a certain level in the mode. And I feel like, to me, from a perspective of a game player and someone who enjoys Halo, that has no Halo at all. Imagine removing Firefight for that. That was disappointing. Really disappointing. And then the campaign, I think, should have been more of a focus. Halo 4's campaign, in my opinion, wasn't very good. I know some people really enjoyed it. I did not. Halo 5's campaign was terrible. That one has no redeeming qualities. Speaking of redeeming qualities, this one is this is my first active camo figure, I think. It came out in Series 2 of Halo Mega blind bags, before LEGO even made theirs. These were the first ones. And this guy is an active camo Flame Marine. The hand is unfortunately broke a long time ago, so I had to switch it out for another figure. So he's not completely active camo anymore, but he works. And he's yellowed a little bit over time. You can see, like, his pipe right here is kind of yellowy. It wasn't like that when I pulled it out of the package, obviously. But this is one of the first figures I ever had from the blind bag series. And it's a really fun fig. I wish that they still did figures like that, but they don't really do a lot of active camo ones like that. They do every once in a while, but it's not the same. Yeah, I'd say Warzone I had some fun with. I will say that. I definitely played it and had fun, but it was indeed unbalanced. I think the new Halo game, it sounds like they're going to be remaking something again, which I feel like isn't a good idea. I'd rather have them finish the story off with Halo Infinite, even though I know that the story hasn't been very good. Halo Infinite intrigued me a little bit. I was disappointed in the way the Banish was handled. I feel like Atriox should have been #1 guy, the Brute, and then he just died for the whole campaign. I thought that was a really dumb decision and made 0 sense for newcomers. But I really feel like they need to finish off that story. But they probably never will, which sucks. The next figure we have is another Halo Reach one. This is like the other one we showed before. It's the exact same, just has the Halo Reach assault rifle now, which has been chewed up by a dog. So thank you to the dog who chewed up my assault rifle. But the next figure, he is almost the same as one of the Marines we looked at earlier with that same sort of arm style. And he's got the same print on the side with that UNSC logo that just looks really nice. But overall, just kind of a Halo Wars. He was a Spec Ops Marine. Kind of a simple figure, but a good one nonetheless. All right, we're going to blast through the next two real quick because they don't matter as much. But I found another tan Marine. This guy is a tan Halo Wars Marine and a yellow Halo Wars Marine, just in different styles. They're all the same sort of Marine, but more or less just different styles of them. We got those two on there. And the next guy is another one of my favorites who's just got that awesome coloration that a few of these Marines have. It just looks so good. I love it when Mega goes out of their way to make really good colors on figures. It's very nice. I get what you're saying about the evil Cortana. Like, they went that route. They should have just stayed it. But honestly, it was such a bad idea. It was a bad idea from the get-go. I don't know who thought that that was a good idea. They should have just had her dead or just leave her off the screen, whatever, for the remainder of the Halo game. There was no reason for her to even be a part of Halo Infinite, or at least, I don't know. I didn't like the storyline. I thought it was bad. Giselle asks, what do you think is the best Halo set you have bought, and what's one you wouldn't buy again? That's a good question. I don't know the best Halo set I've ever bought. I'd probably say this. I'm going to say in recent years, my favorite Halo set that I've gotten is probably the Pelican that's above my head right now. That one I really like. And I think that one's been kind of a good, like, solid set. And you can use it for other things. It's from Halo Infinite, but it looks like it could be from any of the Halo games, which is a positive. And you can't say that about a lot of the Halo Infinite sets, or just anything past Halo Reach sets when Mega started doing Halo 4 and 5 and all that jazz. Okay. It's time to talk about the Golden Elite again, because I actually have the Golden Elite. Here's this one that doesn't work anymore, but then I have this General. This is one of my favorite Elite figures that Mega has never made. This is the Halo Reach General in the old Mega art style, but they won't make it in the new one, which is weird. But this is one of my favorite figures. I love the gold. I think Mega does gold really well, and this figure in particular just looks super good. Yeah, he's a solid fig. All right, it's time to talk about the Halo 4 Marines, I think. Since they're just sitting here, we got to do something with them. This isn't my first Halo 4 Marine, but this is one of the old articulation Halo 4 style Marines. This guy came out, I believe, in like a $5 weapons pack. It was pretty cheap at the time. But it's not a figure that I would recommend buying if you can still find it, because it's from Halo 4 and 5 and no one likes those. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find some more of these Marines to pull out. Here's a nice flame one. I'm sure there's more in here. Yes, there are. But for the time being, I think I'm going to stop on Marines and maybe look at some new articulation figures. Because we could go on for years with Marines here. But we're going to talk about the Halo 4 and 5 Marines. Since we're on the topic, might as well. Honestly, there aren't a lot of Halo Mega figures that I've been looking for lately. I would love... So there's a Halo 2 anniversary pack coming out for the 20th anniversary of Halo 2. Trying to find more of those Marines in there. But we'll have to do with the new articulated Halo 4 ones. And I don't even care where that one went, because it sucks. Anyway, I think that there are some Halo Mega figures that I would like to have, but off the top of my head, I can't think of what they would be. I have pretty much every single figure that I've ever wanted. which is awesome. I mean, I say that like that's not that awesome, but that is pretty cool to have every figure that I know is already out that I could potentially have. I think there's a few figures like from Series 5 of Halo Heroes that I have missing. Those figures would be really nice to have in the collection and just be able to say, hey, I've got those ones too. I have some of them, but not all. But I've got like all of the main characters cast of Halo I've got Lord Hood now, we've got the Prophet of Truth, Regret, Mercy, Master Chief obviously in every single one of his forms, and then the Arbiter. Honestly, there's not the Halo 2 anniversary pack is actually $50. It's the same price as the 20th anniversary, but people have bought it and then relisted it on Amazon for more than it should be. So if you see it again, make sure it's sold by Amazon, and then it'll be $50. It's the same thing that happened with the 20th anniversary character pack. Just the scalpers who get it somehow and resell it, or they're drop shipping it to you. So just be wary. Make sure the seller's on Amazon. But I don't think it's 100. I'm pretty sure it's 50. The OG First Mega Spartans, I have plenty of those, I think. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking... Here, I can just look and I'll grab one immediately. I don't know if this would count as OG, but this one sure would. This guy is holding a bunch of Lego knives. When I was a kid, I used to play with these things, and he was one of the coolest Spartans around. All right, he was cooler than Master Chief, and everyone knew it. And I've kept him with his knives ever since. He's just been sitting here like that for I don't even know how long, years, just hanging out. But I'm going to do one more color of Marine here. This is my first ever Halo Marine, besides the green ones. This is red. He came in a pack. You can see he's also been chewed up in the head, unfortunately, so that kind of sucks. But that's one of those Marines that's just classic. Classic, and I love it. All right, now we can talk about the Halo 4 Marines. I got off topic. I'm going to start with Mr. Sergeant. Now, Halo 4 and 5, I hate the design of these Marines for a few different reasons. So I'm going to grab this stick here to demonstrate. Number one, the shoulder pads look terrible. I mean, they don't look like the worst thing in the world. They're good design. I'm not trying to say that the people who design them, I know that they're not going to watch this, but just know I respect the way that you design them. I just think they look bad. And the reason is this doesn't look like Halo at all. There's a little button right here on the end for whatever reason. And the gray shoulder pad just looks really circular and cushy. It makes him look like the Marshmallow Man, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then, as far as the chest plate goes, I think the chest is fine. But if you look at the chest from newer articulation Marines that are from Halo 3, you can just see the large difference. I'll put them both next to each other so we can have them on at the same time. So you can see what the look is. The other one, the Halo 3 one, just looks so much more military. It's more rigid. You can see the shoulder pads. They're still bubbly, but they have very rigid lines, like metal would, right? Like this looks like a metal sort of arm piece, which is the way that it should be. And the chest plate just, I don't know. This whole little plate looks bad to me. On top of that, the coloration, I think, is also a bad choice. I don't know why they chose this light-colored tan. I know that in the game it looks a little bit better than this, but the toy version is pretty bad. It just looks like a toy. Even in the game, it looks like a toy rather than a military figure, a Marine, which is the way that it should look. I really wish they would have just gone with like the Halo 3 design, or even if they needed to redesign it, just do it slightly. But this overhaul is really bad. But it gets worse when you grab the figures that have the face masks, because it looks like a football helmet. Like this to me right here is a football helmet, not a helmet of a Marine that's about to go fight aliens. Like, it just looks bad. It really doesn't look very good. And it's got like some unique detailing in it. I will say the coloration on the front is cool. And then they got glasses in there, which is also cool. But out of all of the Halo helmets, this one is the weakest and probably the worst. I can't do it. It's pretty bad. These Marines, I don't think deserve a display. They're gonna be hidden, at least for now. Not really. I'm gonna put them up here in area of shame until we figure out what to do with them. If I could bring back any mega set, what would I bring back? The stream is going to be a few hours. I'll probably end around like 2:30 to 3, depending on how I'm feeling. So if you got to head out, don't worry about it. Come back or watch it later when it's over. If I could bring back any mega set, it would definitely be... Oh, that's a good question. I would say the Scarab, but I also don't want to devalue the one that I have. So maybe something different. Maybe the... Ooh. I was going to say the Forward Unto Dawn, but we kind of got that with the MIDI scale version. I would say... Dang, now I'm having to think of what mega sets that I... You know what? The Phantom. I would bring back the Phantom. That's a set that I don't think they would... If they remade the Scarab, it would be incredibly expensive. Like, they would just have to make it more expensive, and it would be less accessible to people. If they remade the Phantom, the Covenant one, not the Banished one, that would be way more accessible to a lot of collectors. It would be a little bit cheaper, and they could just make it a whole lot better. The original one has product quality issues. I mean, it's a good set, and I'm thankful that the both of mine are actually sturdy enough to be still put together. But Mega back then really was just not... It wasn't it. The product quality wasn't there. The brick quality wasn't there. But nowadays, I think they can make it, and it would be... I think it'd be a pretty good success. Yeah. All right. Up next, we got this Hayabusa Spartan. This will also never appear in Halo Mega again. And the reason for that is that this is a design not owned by Bungie or by Halo. This is from another game that was ported into Halo... Or not ported, but designed for an armor to fit in Halo 3. And this figure will never exist again because, obviously, 343 took over. And somehow in the mix we lost it. I don't really know how they don't have the rights to this, because it's still a Halo Spartan, but because of that, we only ever got them when Bungie was still around working with Mega Bloks. So there are very few of these lying around, but unfortunately, because they're not the new articulation, they're not actually worth that much. So you could find some for like maybe $10 each. They're really not that crazy expensive. I wish that they were better, but alas, they are not. Okay. A new Wraith would be really good. Yes, I agree. I do have the Mombasa Pelican set. I've actually made a video about it not that long ago that you could check out. But I do have the Mombasa Pelican set. It's an NMPD Pelican. And maybe I could bring it out. Maybe I could pull it out. We'll see. Okay. These last two Marines, everyone's going to get to look at... What figure do we want to look at? Everyone's going to get to look at this Honor Guard right now. There we are. That beautiful Honor Guard while I order all of these Marines. And push them away. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. I'm trying to decide. I want this desk by the end of this stream to be filled up with Marines. And yes, the Hayabusa is peak. It is awesome. So I'm going to start putting the Marines up at the front. Hopefully I don't knock them all down, because that would suck. Okay, what do you guys think? I need an answer. How should I organize the Marines? Should I do by color or by, like, era? What are we thinking? The Halo 4 Marines excluded, because I'm just going to put those back. I don't want them anymore. And then I'm thinking next we do ODSTs. Does that sound good? The Hayabusa isn't... I think you're talking about the Hayabusa. It's the most recent one, I think, is the Arctic one. But no, this... Oh, wait. Oh, no, you're not talking about the Hayabusa. You're talking about... Duh. This is the new Honor Guard. I don't like it as much as the old one. The colors are different. I do have the old one if we want. I might pull that out. But... Okay, all right, by game. How about we organize them by game? I like it. So we're going to consider everything with a mask, like this, to be Halo Wars. Everything without a mask but has double goggles to be Halo 2. And then everything with the monocle eye to be Halo 3. Or just if I know if it came in a Halo 3 set, I'm going to put it with the Halo 3 stuff. But I like that. That's good. That works. I got the 20th anniversary set for Halo 2. I just don't have it yet. I wish Mega would send me this stuff because I would love to review it and help them out. But they don't send me anything. They've never contacted me before. Maybe one day they will. Fingers crossed that they actually do. But I would love to advertise for them or help them out because they certainly need it. But they've never reached out to me. So I don't have it currently. And I won't get it early. So I will be getting it the same time as everyone else, probably within the next month or so. I pre-ordered it, so it should be here at that time. But if it's anything like the 20th anniversary character pack, then I'm not going to see the set until like a year from now. So yeah, that's one downside to the releases that Mega does, is they make really cool things for a very small amount of people, and then a lot of people want them, and they don't have enough for it. And they keep doing that. For some reason it just keeps happening. But they're not going to change. So, and quite frankly, I guess it makes sense in this economy because you make too much of something and then you lose money. So, fair enough. I'm putting all of the Halo Wars Marines over there right now. I'm trying to organize them by color. Get a good rainbow in there. And then at the end, I will show everyone what we've got. We got some blues. I have a lot of blue Marines, actually, surprisingly. There's some green. This guy, I know that he was part of the Elephant, but I think he deserves to be over by his buddies in the Halo Wars section. This one is a Wars guy as well. Halo 2. Here's another Wars one. All right. I think that... If you guys can see anything else that's from Halo Wars. Oh, this guy? Yeah, one more. One more Halo Wars, man. I'll just put that up at the front. What vehicle would you choose for Mega to make into a Mega set? That's a really good question. I would choose... I would like to pick a vehicle that they've never made before, but I don't know if there are any vehicles that they've never made. I don't want another Wasp, I can tell you that. You know what? A short sword would be really cool. They've made a long sword, which is I have above me. They have those in Halo Wars. I think maybe they appear in Halo 3. But the short sword is what Master Chief, I believe, flies out of in the end of Halo 1. And that's something that it looks very similar to the long sword that I have above me, but it's slightly different. And I honestly think that would be really awesome to have in my collection. I would love to have that. Okay, here, I will show you slightly if you can see it. I'm going to push this back a little bit so you can see the short swords above me. Hopefully, I can't tell if you can actually see that or not, but hopefully you saw it. But there's a short sword high in the sky above my head. So that would be awesome to make. Mega doesn't have sets at Walmart or Target that are Halo, mostly because Halo's not super popular anymore. I think... From what I understand and what I've heard, Mega was dropped in Halo and in like Call of Duty, stuff like that, from those stores because people weren't buying it. And it's tough because they make good products. Like, they're not the best products ever. I will say they have issues. But so does Lego, so do other companies. I mean, there are so many things out there that could be improved for Lego and Mega, but Mega gets a lot of hate because it's considered a copy by hardcore Lego fans. Even some of my own fans, which is unfortunate because I want everyone to at least be friends, enjoy everything, because I think that there's good in both. But because Halo... Anyway, I kind of went off topic. But because Halo's not as popular anymore, toy companies or Mattel isn't really sending stuff to Target, and it wasn't selling. I mean, I saw a lot of stuff, even the Forward Unto Dawn, which was a Target exclusive, sit on shelves. And when Target sees that, every time they're having to clearance this stuff out, I think they just stop carrying it, and that's what's happened here, I believe. It was partly due to, I mean, shelf space is expensive as well. I do think that Lego may have pushed them out a little bit, given them less shelf space, but I've also seen new toy companies who are brick built that do like flowers and even just random sets too come into Walmarts and Targets. So the space is it's possible to get shelf space, but Mattel I don't think is willing to shell out for what is essentially almost a dead product, which is sad to say. And it's not completely dead. I don't mean to say that it's all over, but the reality is that Halo just isn't what it used to be. And it sucks for me because I make videos about it, but I really wish that if Halo Infinite had done better, we would see more of this. And Target and Walmart would still be carrying Halo stuff. I mean, that I think is almost a guarantee, which is really sad that, it's over and that's not going to happen, but it is what it is. Here, all right, we're switching out the figure here. We're going from Honor Guard to... Here's another one of my favorite figures. This one's a classic one, kind of. All right. Shout out to whoever can name this figure, who knows the name of this figure. I will say your name. The Halo show probably ruined Halo for people. Halo Meep, I think you're right in the sense that the Halo show definitely didn't help. I don't know if it ruined Halo for people, but it didn't make anyone feel good who already liked Halo. It was a pretty bad show. I didn't watch season 2 at all. I was like, I'm done at that point. But I do agree that the Halo show definitely didn't help with people's perception of Halo and what they wanted Halo to be. It flopped. It was pretty bad. So I agree with you there that Halo show is probably a cause for some stuff. I wish that Mega would make more sets for the original Halo games, because I think there's still a little bit of demand for those. People still like those, but they just don't. And so we're kind of stuck in a loop where we want sets, but we don't get them. Because not enough people want them, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I just organized all my Marines right here. And let's see if some guy from Halo 2. It is some guy from Halo 2. Zora Epsilon. Zora Epsilon, you are 100% correct. This is Cesa Refume, Cesa, I don't know. Either way, whatever you say it is a guy from Halo 2. This is the heretic leader, is what they call him. But he is the guy that you have to end up taking down at the end of the... I don't remember. It's one of the first few missions of Halo 2. The first mission you play is the Arbiter. You end up taking down this guy and learning some secrets that Arbiter doesn't believe until the end of the game. Nice. Good call. Good call. So I appreciate your Halo knowledge. And Seller 820, you are also right too. It is from Arbiter's Quest. So you're both correct in that one. Next figure I'm putting up. Oh, I almost just broke it. Nice. Gotta love that. This figure is an Elite. This Elite is actually one of my favorite lines that Halo Mega did. Speaking of Target, this Elite is straight from Target. Mega actually had a deal with Target stores a long time ago where they would make a bunch of exclusive red versus blue sets, and he is from one of those sets. He is the original blue Elite from the blue Banshee, red versus blue Banshee. And it's the Halo 3 design of the Airborne Elite or Pilot Elite, something like that. Really cool Elite, though. I like that guy. Okay. Yes, he was also Arbiter's old friend before the Arbiter mission. Yes. Yeah. He was part of the Arbiter's fleet or whatever before taking him down. that's accurate. All right. What are you guys thinking? What other figures are we wanting to see next? We've done a lot of old style Marines. Do we want to do new style Marines? Should I go to ODSTs? Maybe? And organize some ODSTs? What are we thinking, people? Mega hasn't made a Banished Wraith. That is true. I actually wish they did, because that would have been a really awesome set. But I would much rather have them make the Halo 2 version of any Banished stuff, or the Halo Wars 2 version of any Banished stuff, rather than making the Halo Infinite versions. Halo Infinite designs for some Banished things are awful. They're terrible. I will be right back. I'm going to give you an example of why Halo Wars 2 designs are better. Okay, I'm not a huge Banished fan, but I will say that I do enjoy the Banished and the way that they are created. In Halo Wars 2, I was a much bigger Banished fan than in Halo Infinite. And here's why. You can tell just by looking at these why I like the Banished from Halo Infinite worse. It looks worse. Compared to the designs, I mean, this is Halo Mega's designs. You can imagine what these look like in game. First of all, this one has a gap, if it ever focuses. I don't know if it did. It has a gap between this whole cockpit piece, or the canopy, and the middle of the actual body. It's just a bad design. And this is, I think that's Mega's fault mostly, but it doesn't look very good. The wings don't have that iconic shaping of a Banshee like the Banished Banshee does, which is this. That little bubble at the end is just so classic Banshee to me, and I think a lot of Halo fans, I mean, I've got Banshees up here that look just like this, and so, yes, this is kind of just a recoloration, but it looks Banished, like it looks like a rugged Banshee, and it's so good, and they completely got rid of this design. Like, I don't know where this design went. I don't know why 343 didn't just go, okay, copy-paste this from Halo Wars 2 because it was awesome. No, they gave us this. This piece of crap. That, honestly, it looks pretty bad in game too. So, not a fan. Alright, I'm thinking it looks like ODSTs. Hi, Kevin L. Yeah, honestly, I think the models in Infinite are pretty bad. I don't like the models in Infinite. And the gap is actually there on the Infinite model. I'm honestly not surprised then. Yeah, they're not good. And this canopy is actually the same one that they used for the Orbital Banshee. So they couldn't even be bothered to make a new one. Whereas this one got a brand new mold. I don't know. This is just a cop-out. Really lazy to me. And it went on sale on clearance for $5. And I bought it at Target for, I think I bought 3 of them for $5. So I never should have paid full price. But yeah, it's not worth anything. Don't buy any Banished stuff from Halo Infinite. It's not worth it. But this stuff, this is worth it. This is pretty cool. I would hang this up if I didn't have other stuff. All right, looks like we're going with ODSTs. I'm going to go put these back. And let's grab some ODSTs from our bin of figures, shall we? All right. Let's pop open this bin. And I definitely just knocked down some figures, but it's fine. I need to put them back up. Most of them are stable, but not all of them. Okay. ODSTs. What specific, is there any specific ODSTs that you guys think I should look for? Because I have, this is, like I said earlier in the stream, this is mostly old articulation figures, but I have every single new articulation ODST as well, I believe. But I can just start pulling out ODSTs as I see them, and then going from there. Some of the really old ones like this guy, which I love. Some of the OGs. I can bring out some new ones too. The future Halo games, I think, will be... Honestly, I think they'll be non-existent. I don't know if they're going to make an actual new Halo game. I hope they do. And if they are good, then I think that they will focus on Master Chief again. I think they're going to try to remake the original trilogy of Halo games or something along those lines. I think 343 and Microsoft are going to abandon the Halo Infinite story. I could be wrong, but things aren't looking fantastic for Halo. I'll tell you that much. Any ODST. The camo ODSTs? I'm trying to think what... The camo ODST. Let me see if I can find a camo ODST. Yeah, the Banished Phantom also isn't very good. It's not very proportional to the one in the game, and it would have looked so much better if it was the Halo Wars 2 one. Yeah, same thing. My favorite Halo game is Halo 3. We were talking about it earlier, but Halo 3 is just my all-around favorite classic Halo game that I could play for hours and not get bored of. Here's another one, white ODST. And I also have another Halo Reach Marine in here that I just happened to cross over. We gotta put that guy in there. Trying to see. This bin obviously isn't very organized, so pardon the time it takes me to find these things. I don't know if I have an ODST that has camo. I'm trying to think. I know that there was one that was tan, like a tan ODST that had camo on it. If that's the one you're thinking of, it could very well be. All right, next figure up. I need you guys to tell me who this guy is. He should have been in Halo Infinite too. All right, first person to say his name gets called out again. First person to say his name, ask me a question. I will answer your question specifically. A new game centered on Jerome would actually be awesome. I think a lot of fans, probably more of the deeper fans, like maybe a little more hardcore fans, like Jerome or know who he is. But for those who don't, they would get to know him pretty quick from just playing as him. He's such a great character. So 100% agree that Jerome should definitely be a center of a game, especially after Halo Wars 2, where he just demolished. That was incredible. They did such a good job with him in Halo Wars 2. Sad to not see him around in Halo Infinite. I thought for sure that he would pop up. Okay, I found a camo ODST. I'm gonna go with the ones that I have here. That is Commander Lasky. Brick Studios, you got it right. Now, if you'd like to, you may ask me a question, and I'll answer it specifically for at least 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. But yeah, this is the original Captain Lasky before they updated him. This is technically the one from Halo 4, so I don't know if he would be Captain here, or if he's like a Commander something. But yeah, this is Lasky from Halo 4. This one came in the Mammoth set. And wow, that face looks pretty bad, but not bad. Jerome really is awesome. Jerome is pretty good. An ODST open world game would be pretty fun. I don't know. I don't think Halo does open world very well. At least 343 doesn't do open world very well. I would play it, but the campaign in Halo Infinite made me really dislike open world, at least the way they did it. It was really boring, in my opinion. But we're going to start off the ODSTs with our least favorite ODST. This is Spartan ODST Buck from Halo 5. This is one of my least favorite ODST designs. I know that he's a Spartan 4, but technically he still has like the ODST look. I really think they didn't do great service to ODST Buck here. Yeah. Our guy that everyone loved from ODST, Halo 3, we got Buck just hanging out in Spartan armor, and he basically does nothing the entire game. But this is the Halo 5 version of his Spartan armor. He doesn't get displayed. We're just going to toss him back over there. And then we're going to talk about, I think this is the camo ODST that we were thinking of. All right, Brick Studios. We'll see you later. But thank you for knowing that it was Lasky. This this ODST has camo on it. This is from the ODST Recruitment Center set that came out, I think, in 2012, around that time. But this is, again, one of the older style figures. I really like the cyan paint in the middle. But he's got that camo on him in his jumpsuit areas, I think. Is that where that would be? But he's one of my favorite ODSTs that have been released, and he looks really good. He's a pretty solid figure. So that's a good ODST. I respect that one. Yeah, I think the helmet is good. I will say the helmet is good. The armor is meh. Agreed, 100%. Halo Infinite's open world, to me, I feel like never really... It did feel like 1/3 of what it was supposed to be. It never really felt like it was finished, but it also never felt like I left the area I was already in, if that makes sense. When it was announced that Halo Infinite would have an open world, my dreams were big. I was like, oh my gosh, Halo Infinite will have the entire ring explorable. I'll be able to go to the desert, to the winter sections, to like everything. I thought that this was going to be it. But then I only got to explore this much of the ring. Like I don't have it with me, but Mega made that ring display thing. That's how much you got to explore. It's like not even close to half. It's like maybe a fourth chunk, even less than that. And that was super disappointing for a lot of fans, especially me, who was so excited for something amazing to come out of this Halo Infinite whole, big giant world with a Halo ring. You could walk all the way around. You could get back to the same place you were. No, didn't happen like that. And it sucked. It was terrible. I think it's because they catered to the Xbox One a little bit. Like, they had to dumb it down for that. I could be wrong, but it was terrible. And then they didn't give us co-op split screen, which was even worse. So, yeah, not a good open world. I don't want that again. This was your first set. Oh, really? I'm assuming you're talking about the Rudy. You're probably talking about the other ODST, which is pretty awesome. That is one of my first sets after a while. But this is one of those ODSTs from a drop pod. This blue guy that's been hanging up there for a second. And the next one is also from a drop pod. This is the Snowbound one. This one was one of my favorites. That's why the backpack didn't come with him. But he came with an Arctic... If I can find it. He came with an Arctic drop pod that looked like this. And it has a little bit of snow on it. But also has... There's one other... I had two of them. Bingo. Right here... He came with the only Arctic sniper to ever exist in Halo Mega to look like that. It is one of my favorite weapons that Mega has ever made, and I keep it in here because I don't want it to break. But it's such a beautiful sniper, and it's the only time they've ever made a white Arctic sniper like this. And it was one of the first times that we got a colored weapon like that that was unique to the figure. And I don't think that they've really done much of that again, but it was something special. The next figure is another ODST, but this one did not come in a drop pod. He just came inside a blind bag series. This blind bag series was Series 7, I believe, and it came with double the amount of figures that usually came inside these blind bags. So it was pretty loaded. So we got some awesome figures like this ODST in tan that I think Mega did a pretty good job with. Overall, it wasn't perfect, but I think for what it is, it was really good. And they gave him a backpack, which is a bonus. I think when Mega gives backpacks to their figures, it makes them look a lot better, especially these older styles. Because the hole, you can see it on the back of him, the hole is very noticeable if they don't have a backpack on. At least on the old style. The new style, they're not as noticeable. Hello, Cash Jones. Welcome to the stream. You have a huge Mega Bucks collection to the point where you can't keep it. If it depends on if you want to, like, how you want to get rid of it. If you want to maximize the value of the figures, sell it on eBay individually. If you have a huge collection that you just can't imagine selling on eBay individually, I would suggest reaching out to collectors like someone like me. I probably am not in the market for it right now, but someone like me who is a big collector of Halo Mega that is keeping all their stuff, I would reach out to someone like that or one of the forums in like Reddit or Facebook and probably sell that way and see if you can get a good deal. If you sell them all together, you won't make as much money, I'll tell you that. But you will still, if you sell it to the right person, you will still be able to at least get some value for what you have. Depends on what you have, though, and what good condition it is. But I would probably start on eBay, maybe look at some prices, maybe sell some of your more expensive stuff. Like, I'm trying to think of what would be super expensive. This, for example, this isn't the most expensive thing ever, and it's not in the best shape. Like, it's got some stickers peeling up. It's overall, the pieces are in good shape. It just needs to be dusted slightly. But this I'd probably sell on its own rather than selling with other stuff because it's a little more rare. It's older. But if you had like Halo Infinite, or even if you had like Arbiter's Quest Banshees that are opened, or if you have, I'm trying to think of like these guys, these Cyclopses, that stuff I feel like you could sell it in a set better because more people would probably want to buy all of them together than buy them separately. So pick and choose your battles and decide what money you want to get out of it. This I call a shark ODST. This is one of a few different shark ones that they've made. I don't know why they put shark teeth on his face, but I like it. This is a silver one, and then there is also a blue one. There's a red and a green too, I believe. But they actually made these shark ODSTs as part of like just regular figure packs. And then later on, they put them in the new articulation with other shark guys. So maybe I'll do all the shark ODSTs next if I could find where I have those hidden. Yeah, chunk it out. eBay does have scalpers, but if you want the best price, in my experience, because I've sold some stuff on eBay, or some Halo Mega stuff, eBay I definitely got better prices because people were just willing to spend more on eBay. But yeah, if you want to be like help out other collectors, then Facebook Marketplace or going to the Reddit is probably a good idea. You've been collecting, you have totes and totes of them, so probably exactly what I have over there. Yeah, I'd probably just maybe pull things out, and they will sell better if you have all the pieces. If you don't know you have all the pieces, you can say they're 99% complete, so they look complete, but maybe you don't quite have everything, or you don't know if you do. It'll sell for less value in that case, but it depends totally on what you want to do and how you want to make money. If you want to be kind and give them for a really good deal to somebody who's collecting or just barely getting into collecting, then you could go that route, or you could try to get as much money out of it as you possibly can, and I won't blame you either way. Alright, let's see. We've got, there's a brown ODST guy, blue one. There's a white one here. This is ODST Lang. This one has a few different variants of ODSTs that I've had hanging around for a long time. And an awful looking version of the Halo 4 Marine. I have to pull this up now. Since we talked about it a minute ago, look how bad that is. It looks like even more like the Marshmallow Man and more toyish. This is one of the worst figures Mega's ever made. And it's new, too, which is sad. But, yeah, that one's pretty bad. Would not recommend buying that one. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot more of the new articulation ODSTs than I have of the old ones. Because the old ones a lot of them don't exist. But the new ones, they really went all out on the new ODSTs. I think this is everything that I had in there. So, we'll get rid of this guy. Up next on the ODSTs, we're still going with our Shark Boys here. So this is when they switched it to the new articulation. These are the brown ones. And these came in a little drop pod that was like a fake drop pod. But yeah, they came with a backpack, silenced pistol, and that's pretty much it. I don't love the brown one. I think the brown one's probably one of the weakest. But one of my favorite is this blue right here, which actually looks really, really solid for the blue that it is. It was less metallic than the other one, which I don't think helps it a ton, but because it's a new articulation and it has better looking everything, it is worth it. Like, the shoulder pads look fantastic in the new ones. A Locust remake would be nice. Yeah, I have both the old Locusts, Somewhere stored away in those bins over there. But the locust sets were really awesome. The one with the Gauss Hog I think is my favorite, but the other one is more polished as far as the locust is concerned. But those are solid ones to have. I have seen the brand new Fallout set that has been circling around the interwebs as Mega has just announced it, and I think it's really cool. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I don't know if I'm going to purchase it. I haven't decided. I feel like it's a really cool set. It's $30, I believe, and we talked about it yesterday. It comes with 5 figures. It's cool. I've never played Fallout before, so while I know about Fallout and I know the gist of it, and I do think that Fallout made the right choice of having Mega do the figures instead of Lego. We talked about that yesterday. But I don't know if I'm going to buy them unless I might just buy them to review them or to just look at them. Because I'm just not a huge Fallout person. But I think that it's a pretty good figure pack, and I'm glad that it exists. It's good to see that Mega is actively creating new sets with new lines in it from all of the lines that they've recently lost. I mean, recent as in like the last 5 years, like Call of Duty. They lost, what else have they lost? Well, they got rid of Destiny. They used to do Masters of the Universe. That was gone. That was a really long time ago, but here's another ODST with the shark teeth. The Arctic one. And the next one is I don't know what you'd call this. It's black, but it's sort of metallic, has a metallic green to it. But I'd say it's mostly black. It's a little closer to this green that I have over here. But yeah, this is basically all black. Came with a saw, which is fine. The saw is actually one of my favorite weapons from Halo 4. I think they actually did a good job with that, and Halo 5. But while these are different, it's really hard to tell that they actually are. But this is the green version, and this one's the black version. So you can kind of tell that, yes, they are different colors. I hope you can see that on the camera. But they're so close together that I don't know why Mega didn't make this one maybe slightly more green to have it off. But it is part of the metallic series or whatever, so I guess it makes sense. But I do like the green ones. They do a good job with those. And I actually have 2 of them with the Spartan laser with no paint or anything. But our next Sharkman is our last one, and this one is my favorite one. This has the same armor almost as Mickey from ODST, which I have the figure of, the actual real figure of. Or Romeo. Romeo or Mickey. One of the two. I don't remember. Whatever the sniper. I think Mickey. But he's got great shoulders, an awesome helmet, and he's got the shark teeth too, and he's got like this maroonish purple color, which I really like. The Destiny sets were pretty cool. I think the Destiny sets could have lasted longer. I feel like people still play Destiny 2 today, but alas, I suppose not. I would say I'm having a fallout with them. That was a good one. Yeah, it is basically $6 with a figure. $6 per figure, which isn't too bad, and you get pieces to go with them. I might buy it. It depends on if I have room to fit it, because that's what matters, right? Okay. So we've hit just about the hour mark. So right now I'm going to take a small break, probably about like 5 to 10 minutes, real quick. I'm going to grab a few more ODSTs off camera so that way I can have them ready for you guys. And then we'll keep talking some ODSTs. So I will be right back. Mickey is red, Romeo is blue, Romeo is the sniper. So yes, Romeo is the one I had. What am I supposed to do with... Oh, right. Okay. Yes, you're right. Understood now. Well, I prefer whatever streamer is me. Just kidding. I used to watch Twitch every once in a while, but YouTube to me is just easier because my audience is already here, like you guys are already here, right? And so it just made more sense for me to just do my streams and have fun here on YouTube. But I think Twitch maybe is easier to get discovered, depending on how you do it. But yeah, for me, I feel like YouTube is just where we're at right now. So I will be right back. I'm going to go turn on our good old waiting screen, and we'll be back in a jiffy. bringing out some more ODSTs. Alright everyone, I am back. Sorry for the slight break. Just had to rest up slightly. But we're going to finish up in about an hour's time. So we've still got plenty more talking to do and hanging out. Glad you enjoyed the music, Mr. Pancakes. I did hydrate a little bit. Thank you for sticking around, Pancakes. That's awesome. Alright, so let's get back into it. Halo Wars was pretty awesome. And the Mega Xbox is cool. I actually have the Mega Xbox displayed. It's right here. Hanging out, the Xbox 360. That's one Mega set that deserved a minifigure, but it was still a really good set nonetheless. Alright, let's get back into the ODSTs. We've got our Hayabusa there, but now we're going to talk about this ODST, which is actually one of the most recent ODSTs that Mega has produced. This guy is tan with that little, I don't know what you call that, like they're like the Star Wars rangefinders, but goggles for ODSTs. And this one came out in a pack with 2 brutes. It was like an ODST pack, but I don't remember exactly what it was called. Yes, Mega Bricks, you made it before the end. Welcome to the stream. We're just looking at these old ODST figures right now as we go about making our army. The next one I have is the exact same figure, but then the other one that came in that set is this guy with the silenced SMG. Now, there are some issues with the silenced SMG that people have. Personally, I like it if I can get it to stick on there. I think he has feed issues. That works. I like the silenced SMG, but I know that a lot of people don't love the nub on the end. At least, I think they changed it now. I think now it's different. But with these ones, the silencer is just really fat. It's comically large compared to how it's supposed to be in the game, or how it was. I think I have one in one of these ODST's hands, or in a Marine hand. This is the silenced SMG, the way that's supposed to look, or how it was designed before Mega changed it. The reason they changed it was just so that it could be a little bit more customizable, like the Call of Duty figures, at least from what I understand. But it is a little bit larger than it should technically be. I do agree with that. I don't know, I kind of like it that way. I think it looks good. And I don't mind the Halo 5 SMG design that they use for it. So I'd say it's positive. Glad we are back. Thanks, Giselle, for coming back. But yeah, I think the hate is a little bit overdone. Overplayed. It's a little unnecessary, in my opinion. But, to each their own. Alright, our next ODST is one from another 343 project. This is from the, technically, Combat Evolved, but not really, from the game that introduced this figure's whole squad. It's called Halo... What is it called? I don't even know what it's called, but it's set during Combat Evolved time. You're a squad of ODSTs, and it's an arcade game. So it's not really something super crazy, but they did release every single squad member of this squad. I have at least 2 of them. This is Lang. This is the first one that I got. I think I don't have the blue one, and I might have the... There might be 3 of them that I'm missing. I think I'm missing... No, I have 2 of them. I'm missing 2 of them. But I don't care about these figures really much. I like the ODST look, but I feel like the green one, to me, is the only one that I see it myself using in like a mock or in another sort of style build. I think it looks really good next to other Marines and stuff, this green one. I don't remember its name, but other than that, I think the Lang here, that's the purple one is the Lang. I don't like... It's just meh. It's a meh ODST to me. And this one's name is... I don't think it's not even on his chest plate. So I don't know. I don't know if this is... who this is. But regardless, it's from the same thing, I believe. Okay. Our next ODSTs are going to be... Drumroll, please. From... the Halo 3 ODST marketing campaign. This ODST came in the 4-pack with some drones as well. This is one of my favorites just because his name is Tarkov. He was from the ODST ads before the game released, and he is a fantastic representation of what ODSTs should look like and what ODSTs should be. It comes with a backpack, but they updated the backpack on this one to really make it look like the way that the ODSTs were represented in that advertisement. And it looks incredible, I must say. It looks really, really good. And Mega did an excellent job making sure that not only was he detailed, like you can see tiny little prints on the shoulders, but you can also see the tiny little prints on his chest plates down here and little scratches on his helmet. Like, this is one of the best ODSTs I think that have ever been produced. And Mega did a really good job at just making sure that it was exactly what it needed to be. And I'm proud of them for that. Okay, and then our next ODSTs are from his same pack. So he's the only named one that came in there, but the other ones are still really good looking and awesome as well. The next guy is in green. He's got the backpack that I believe, let's see. So Mickey's the one with the backpack, the fat backpack, I think. And with this one right here. And the rocket launcher. I believe so. But he's got different types of shoulder pads, the knife attachment up the front, and then this is when they changed the silencer to be a little bit longer to be more accurate. So this one does look better, I will admit, even though the other one I don't have a problem with, but this one definitely is better than the one that we saw before. But I really like the green on this guy. He's fairly simple, basic, but an ODST that I think Mega did a really good job with. Their best ODSTs, in my opinion, are the ones with a little bit of color and some gray. Or mostly gray. And these ODSTs are all like that. Like this next one here came in the same pack. This one's got white. If I don't drop it. This one's got a white backpack, which is pretty cool. And then white all around. Like here and there. And then just cool helmet design. Has also the same printed detail. None of them are as detailed as Tarkov. Tarkov has the most printing. But this one has enough printing or paint, whatever, to look pretty good regardless. Purple. Okay, so purple's lane, green is Ramos. So I have Ramos. I'm missing Hudson, and blue is Graves. Yeah, I'm missing those guys. Do I have the Icebreaker ODST? Icebreaker ODST. Let me look that one up. I don't know what the Icebreaker ODST is. Icebreaker ODST. Let me look it up. Oh, yes, I do have. Those ODSTs will be coming after Alpha 9, but I have the Icebreaker. I actually have every single version of those ODSTs too. So those ones will come after we go through Alpha 9, but I didn't know that people called it Icebreaker. That's interesting. Cool, though. It makes sense. It's blue and white. Okay, and the next ODST is also from the same pack. I think this is the last one. The last one that I have out here. I know that there's 4 total. So one of them is bound to pop up eventually. I think I have it hanging up on one of these instead. Maybe? I don't know. Regardless, this is the other ODST. This one also has the backpack too, which looks really good, and it's mostly just sort of basic ODST, but this is, again, Mega at its peak is when they do figures that are army builders like this. Perfect. And the name figures are good too, but just not always the best. They're not always my favorite. But with all that out of the way, we have 2 more ODSTs before we get to all of Alpha 9 that I have unboxed. I have some still in the package, but all of Alpha 9 that I have out is official Alpha 9. But for the meantime, this one is the ODST that came in the newest, this is the latest ODST that came in the Hornet set that I have above me hanging up there. But this guy has camo on the legs and on the arms too in the jumpsuit areas. So really great detailing there too. I have some issues with the shoulder pads, just the red coloring on mine. I bought 2 of them. It just is a little bit off on both of them. You can kind of tell maybe with both the shoulders here how one of them is just slightly better quality. And I've had issues with both the hands, unfortunately. The hands just haven't been able to pick up weapons super well. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but you might be able to see like a little bit of a gap between the AR or the the BR and the hand there, and it's just always been like that. But they came with an awesome backpack and a classic ODST look. These are some of my favorite ODSTs that Mega has ever done, despite the issues. I just think Army Builder ODSTs are the pinnacle of Halo Mega when it comes to the figure design, because ODSTs everyone loves, and you can also have a lot of them in diorama, or if you want to accurately represent the video game, because getting all these Spartans is great, but I don't love getting a bunch of Halo 5, Halo Infinite Spartans. I hate that. Getting more ODSTs and more variety of Marines is so much better. 10 out of 10. And then the last ODST we're going to do before Alpha 9. This guy, I believe, came in a blind bag series? I could be wrong. Wait. Oh, I see the ODST in your profile pic. That makes sense. That's sad that you hate him, because he's not bad, but I see what you're saying. Let's get in Rainbow 6, that's blue and white. Yes, I believe that makes sense. Blue and white. He looks like an icebreaker. But this ODST is in silver, and it looks pretty nice. I like it. Overall, it's more basic. This is one of those ones that isn't my favorite, but I think it looks really good. And it's a great figure for, like, display purposes, in my opinion. But now, we start with Alpha 9, everyone's favorite team. And we're going to start here with the rookie. This is the original rookie, not the Halo Heroes Series 10 one. I don't have that one, unfortunately. That's one of the figures that I wish I did have. But this rookie came with its own little, what was it, like station thing? What do you call it? He had a drone. It came with a drone or something. It wasn't the Covenant drone, but it was something else. I don't remember what it was called. Let me know, chat, if you guys remember what it was called. It is a drone. Like, it flies as a drone, but it's a weapon. Anyway, he came with one of those in one of those sets, and he looks really nice. This definitely isn't as good as the version from Halo Heroes Series 10, but that one is so expensive now that I just have to keep this one and just let it be. But this is definitely one of the better ODSTs. It has really great coloring all around, and it's pretty simple compared to the rest of Alpha 9 that I have. But overall, I think that they did a good job with him. The next one is also another simple character who came out in a pack 2. It came in a pack of 4 different characters, and it's not super hard to get, but also not super easy to get either. This is Dutch. And this is probably the worst version of Dutch. The other version I have is still sealed. It's Halo Heroes version of Dutch, which the orange is more accurately represented on him. This is more like brown color, but he looks really good as far as the printing goes, coming from the set that he did. I'd give it like a solid 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. The Spartan Laser has printing too on it, like the little red line, which is also appreciated. Yeah, so anyways, Mega Bricks, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, and hopefully you can come back later. If not, we end the stream. I will be streaming on Saturday as well. So I might be streaming more gameplay or this, depending on how I'm feeling that day, but stay tuned for that too, because we will definitely be streaming on Saturday too. The Wombat, Ryan, that is correct. It is a Wombat. So Wombat actually came with that rookie and a buck from recent years. So yes, it is the Wombat. Speaking of buck, this is my favorite buck. This is the Halo Heroes Series 1 version. I have the newest one, and I've actually done a video about the newest one too. I don't know where exactly I put him, because it's been a while since I've hung out with Buck, but let me see if I can find the new one in here. If not, we might be stuck with just the old one. But the old one is, I think, marginally worse than the newest one. But there are some things about the old one that I like, and some things about the new one that I don't like. But we have to find it first if we want to truly decide which is the best. Ah, I did have him in here. There he is. Okay, now we can talk about it. So this is the original Buck version. What I really like about this Buck is the coloration of the jumpsuit, so like the tan colors. Of course, the painted AR is gorgeous. It's the huge version of AR, so it's not the best, but it's pretty good. If you have any mega set, get a remake, what set would you choose? If I chose any set to get a remake, we've talked about the Phantom already, but if I wanted to choose something different, I would go with the... I'd go with this really small set from way back in the day. It had a mongoose and a little laser turret. This is the remnants of what I have of it. I have the actual one, but it's in pieces. It's in shambles somewhere in this bin. But that's what I would want them to do, just to remake an old good set and update some figures, put it in there. I feel like that would do really well. But just something simple that they haven't done in a long time. Just a classic mongoose with no stupid wheels that look bad, like the new Infinite ones. Just classic mongoose, Covenant turret, like a Shade turret or something, and then boom, done. That's it. Just for smaller sets, for someone to be able to actually have, you know? Okay, so with this Buck out of the way, let's talk about Buck number 2, the latest one, which I personally think is actually better and worse in a few different ways. For starters, he is a darker color green, slightly, which I think helps with the ODST look because it should be a little more gritty, a little darker. The knife is black or on the old one and gray on the new one. Other than that, it's pretty similar. One thing that the new one does have that the old one doesn't is these markings here. And you can kind of see if I point at them with this little rod right there, UNSC, UNSC. And just the insignia for that. That's it. It just says Buck and UNSC down there. So from the printing perspective of that, it's better, but it also is less detailed in my opinion. As far as just like the look of it. This one has so much more color and vibrance to it. And it, you know, even though the green is slightly lighter, I think it matches better. I like the new one less, actually. I have to say. It could have been better, but I do think the new one probably more accurately represents Buck. The old one looks closer to the rookie. So take that as you will. But I do think that both Bucks are pretty good representations of what Buck is, just kind of up to personal preference. And they're both good. They just could be better. The next one I've got, I believe, is Mickey. Yes, because Romeo's the sniper guy. So Mickey, Mr. Spanker himself, right there with the rocket launcher. He is also one of my favorite figures. This is the 20th anniversary one. I have the old one too. I could go pull that out if you guys want me to. If you guys want me to, I will go grab the old one as well. If I could remember where I put it. It's somewhere. I think this, but this is the new one. So the new one is a little bit worse than the old one. It doesn't quite have as much detail, as much paint, and overall it still looks really good. But it was dumbed down slightly from the original version. Cough. There. Anyway. Dumbed down slightly, but still a great figure nonetheless. But now we need to talk about Romeo. Yes. Romeo has only ever been released in maybe 2 sets. But Halo Heroes Romeo is the only one that I know of, at least for now. And he came with a fantastic looking sniper. It is one of the best snipers that Mega has ever done. I really wish they would have done it in Halo 3 style. This is technically Halo 4 and 5 style sniper with the larger like digital display on top, but it's good enough that you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference. And he has no shoulder pad. It looks unfinished, but it actually is supposed to be like that. That's how he is in the game. Really, that's okay. Hot take from Mr. Pancakes. He likes the huge guns way more than the smaller ones. I think the huge guns are funny. I don't. They're you know. I think the smaller ones are better for actual display, in my opinion. But to each their own. I do think the huge guns do have their place, and they're very classic Mega looking. But yeah, this Mickey is, or this Romeo is solid. He's not the best of Alpha 9, but he's not the worst either. Speaking of the worst, we need to talk about these members of Alpha 9. The honorary member, but I have 2 of them. So this is, what's her face? Bucks Love. Why can't I remember her name? Or if you can remember her name, tell me in the chat. Chat, I don't remember her name, but what is it? Does it say on the chest plate? I don't think so. Tank does beat everything. That is right. I don't remember her name. Yeah, I can't figure it out. But she's a really good figure in the. This is from the Halo 20th anniversary character pack. This is from Mega's second version of this figure, where she only got her helmet. They didn't give the second piece to her, which is her face, which arguably I think is more important than her Recon helmet. The Recon helmet looks really good, don't get me wrong, but the Halo Heroes version came with both the helmet and the extra head, which I will show you. But I really wish that they would have included the head on the 20th anniversary. But the 20th anniversary one, unfortunately, is also pretty much worse in every way. It's not as painted, and it doesn't look as good. But this is the one with the head, and it looks a little bit better. It looks cleaner to me and less mass-produced. But that makes sense because obviously it would be less mass-produced because the Halo Heroes just weren't as big as the 20th anniversary character pack, at least from what I know. And they did a good job with this one. The face sculpt I think is really good, and she looks good. Veronica. It's Veronica Dare. Yes, that's it. And it does say Dare on her chest plate. I think on the original one, it says Dare. On one of them, I believe it says Dare. I just couldn't see it. This one has the UNSC insignia on her chest plate. This one does not. But honestly, they're both very similar. I like it when Mega goes out of their way to give us more, not give us less. And to me, this was just giving us less. I think we got less for what this figure should have been, because Veronica Dare in the game has her helmet off a lot from like when you see her, because she loses her helmet at the very beginning of the game. So I feel like helmet almost didn't even need to be included, but to each their own. To each their own. There's one more ODST thing that I wanted to show before we go grab the Icebreaker one and all that other stuff, is this ODST right here. He's the same one that we've already looked at before, but the reason I'm showing you this is this right here, this canister of biofoam. This is the only one that was produced by Mega in that same ODST pack, so this has nothing to do with Alpha 9, but it is cool that we finally got something. It is a really bad design, and this one's already cracked, and my other one broke, so it's not a very good piece, but it's a really cool piece to have nonetheless, and great for like mocks and detail, stuff like that. Something that you couldn't really get anywhere else, and a print that doesn't exist anywhere else, so that's helpful. All right. So right now, we have, I think, almost like, this is looking like an army of ODSTs, I must say. But we definitely could fit some more troopers in here. So it's time to go grab the other ones. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Alright, I brought a full handful of a whole bunch of ODSTs, including the Icebreaker ones. I have 2 of them. But this one, first we're going to talk about the other version of Mickey. This guy is my favorite one. And the reason for that is really pretty minute, but I just think the paint detail on this one looks so much better than the new one. It has a dot right on top of the flashlight on his helmet where it's supposed to be. The new one does not. I know that that's a very minor discrepancy, but I just think this one's better. And it looks cleaner to me. And just overall more solid. Actually, the new one does have the white dot too, so maybe I'm just dreaming here. But I personally think, wait a minute, this might be the exact same one. Hang on. I think I have 3 different Mickeys. Here we go. Okay. I was wrong. I was literally showing you the exact same figure. Those are both from the 20th anniversary character pack. You can tell because they have the backpack. I should remember that. The original one did not come with the backpack, so it is downside on that front. But the reason I like it better, you can probably already tell. The jumpsuit. And the color. The painting. It looks a little bit better. It looks a little more polished to me and clean. They did a good job. So on here they have an entire line going up the shoulder pad on the new one. The old one is just the V, which the V is more accurate, I believe. So I don't know why they switched that up, but he doesn't have the UNSC logo, so one downside there. And he also doesn't have the light either, but this is also painted black on the top, the flashlight, which on this helmet is not. So depends on what you like, but I personally like the original one better. This one came in the NMPD big Pelican set, the base or whatever they call it. But they're all basically the same. But I like that one a little bit better. It looks a little more ODST to me. Okay, now let's talk about what we all wanted to see, the Icebreaker one. Now I didn't even know this was called Icebreaker. I mean, it makes sense, but let's talk about it. Her name is Debbie. Yeah, we should start calling Dare Debbie. That's funny. The whipped cream can? What is the whipped cream can? Oh, the whipped cream can. Duh. Never mind. Okay, so this guy is fun, I guess. This is a pretty basic ODST. These ODSTs that came in, this is like the newest round of drop pods. I don't think I have any of them readily available for me to show you guys. But they're basically these drop pods, but Halo 5 style. And they included better looking weapons and painted details, which I like. Most of them did. But the downside is that the drop pods were the Halo 5 style. They looked really bad. And they were $15. I think these when they were released were 10 or 11. And then they upped the price to 15, which, inflation, whatever. But this was pre-2020. I think the last one of these to release was probably like 2018, maybe 2019, or maybe even 2017. But these figures are really good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good. Just not the most special ODSTs ever. I didn't even know that this was called Icebreaker, but I do have 2 of them. One here and one here. They're supposed to have this little band right here, at least as far as I know, which a lot of these ODSTs do, but some of them don't. This one may have broken off. But they all came in the same drop pod series. This guy has seen some wear. I think the paint up here has just been shaved away through time a lot, but the actual chest plate and the weapon still look really good. The assault rifle looked good. This one probably isn't my favorite. I like the blue and I like the blue color, but these are some of those ODSTs that don't really look like they fit in Halo. They look good, and the colors are fun. They're unique, but if you can kind of see the ODSTs that I have on the table here, most of these are like sort of grittier, darker colors. They're darker tones. There are some with brighter colors like the purples and the blues up here, but most of the time they're like metallic-y or tan or gray, and they look sort of gritty, like I think ODST is represented as. And these ODSTs don't do a very good job of that. These ODSTs look like toys. They look like they're from Halo 5, and they're just not as good, except for 3 of them. One of them is this one. This is the sniper one, which actually has, if you can see it, this red for the digital little ammo thing counter right there, or the scope in the counter, which is pretty cool. I actually think they did a really good job with this ODST. And he has the more grittier colors, the metallic sort of silvers, grays, and came with 2 weapons. Pretty solid. This one, I think, out of the bunch is my favorite. I have 2 of those ones. Or, actually, I have 3 of those ones, so no wonder. But there are 2 others that also I think they did a good job with. Well, technically, maybe there's 4 that I think they did a good job with. Maybe it's just those few that I feel like the colors don't really match with ODST. But the next one, after we stack these guys together, is... Welcome back, Celadon Leader. We're pulling out ODSTs right now. The next one that I think they did a good job with is this orange guy. This isn't perfect, but it also has those greens and the undertones of like the gray here. This just looks like a classic ODST with a little bit of color on it. That's how I think they should be, and it worked out well for them. Speaking of, this one's probably one of my favorite ODSTs that I own right here. And this is one of the good ones. It has the American flag on his SMG, which is pretty cool. But it also is just, or maybe it's not an American flag, but it's red, white, and blue, same deal, whatever. It just looks really good. And this is, again, really great colors with the same sort of color scheme that ODST should have. But yeah, I really like this ODST. He's one of my favorites, and I wish I had more of those, but I only have one. And this one is probably be my least favorite. He's not terrible. Almost all of them come with a silenced pistol, but this is one of the weakest ones. He suffers from the problems of just like looking like a toy. I think they put a black wash on him. It might look a little bit better, but yeah, it ain't it. It ain't it, Chief. It's not very good, and I think that it's the weakest out of them. But there's one more, and that last one is... Well, I have 2 of them up here, but they're the exact same. This one is a rocket launcher. This is the tan that the other ODSTs have, so it's still good, and I still think it fits decently enough. And it's got like good detail up here, and overall, I think the visor and everything look great on it. He just comes with a Halo 5 rocket launcher, and as soon as you see that, you're like, you know, that's gone. We don't want to see that. So that's why he's down on the list. But really, though, they're not terrible. This one somehow has no leg, so we're gonna have to just stand him up without a leg. I didn't realize that I had missing limbs in here, which is disappointing, but that's okay. Ruby O'Brien, you may have a shout out. You've been officially shouted out, and that's all you get. Hello, Brendan Guy. Welcome everyone to the stream. We're continuing our ODST journey, popping them all on here. And that looks like that's it. I think this is all of the ODSTs that I own, or at least most of them. There might still be some stragglers in the bins and things that haven't been put out here. There's a few hanging up here that I think may want to make an appearance one day. But for now, that's pretty much all the ODSTs that I have out here. So what do we do next? Are we thinking we could go with the new style of Marines, which is a possibility, or we could just go with maybe flood figures. That would be kind of fun. I know where all my flood figures are, at least for the most part. We could do Spartans. We could do Master Chief figures. Do you know what a Halo fan is making? I did hear about the flood game. I don't exactly know what that entails, but I'm excited to see what Halo fans can come up with that's better than whatever 343 can do. So just prove to them that they're mishandling the franchise. How about that? My most controversial Halo take. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know if I have... Most of my Halo takes I feel like are agreed upon by a lot of people because I've been a Halo fan for a long time and I feel like I understand the community. I think maybe my most controversial Halo take is... Oh, I don't know. Maybe that Halo 4 is a really bad game. Like, even the campaign. I think a lot of people are looking at the campaign now and think that it's awesome. Or they're, like, looking at it with glazed eyes. Like, oh, well, I remember the campaign. I know it was bad when it came out, but now look at the story. No, it's just bad. Halo 4 is bad. The armor looks terrible. I can't do Halo 4. Maybe that's my controversial opinion. Hello, Pops Funko Pops. Okay, next thing. All right. Chat, we need to decide what we're going to put up next here on the figure display stand. Here are your options. We can either do a whole bunch of elites, or we can do Marines, or we can do flood figures. What are we thinking, chat? I need I need you to tell me right now, what are we thinking? What should I start putting up there? What should be our final? Because this will lead us up to, we got about like 20 minutes left of the stream before we head out. Or we can end it here and take a look at my Halo Mega Collection. So your call. What are we thinking? Halo Mega Collection or more figures? How many figures do I have? Let's see. There's probably like 100 on the table right now. Maybe a little more. So a lot more than that. I don't actually have a good figure count. But I mean, I've got, not only, you've seen the bin, right? This giant bin. But I also have like tubs full of the newer style figures. Of just everything from hunters to brute chieftains. I mean, I've got everything. And I have them kind of sorted out between UNSC and Covenant. But I would say I have maybe almost 700 figures. Maybe a little less. But around that number. I'm hearing elites from Jack. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull out my 5 favorite elites that I have in my near vicinity. And then we're going to take a look at my final little, my stuff over there. My Halo Mega collection over there just hanging out. I'm going to show you guys what I've got all in bins. And then we'll wrap up the stream. How does that sound? Okay, so the first elite I'm going to throw up there is going to be this guy. Many of you may recognize him, but you also may not. But the way you can recognize this elite is what's inside the arm there. So this elite is from Halo Combat Evolved. This is one of my favorite Halo figures just because it's really simple. It came inside a blind bag, the Clash on the Ring blind bags. But it was super awesome to have this figure be available in like mass because you could just buy so many. I think I bought like 10, 15 of them. But this is just a Combat Evolved elite. Classic. Simple. Nothing crazy about it. Just Combat Evolved elite minor. But he's one of my favorites of the newer styles. And I think Mega did a good job at staying true to their design philosophy, but also giving us an elite that looks pretty freaking awesome. Okay, the next elite I'm going to throw up on here is from Halo Heroes, also one of my favorites. This is the elite. He's not a general. I don't remember what they call him. I use him as more of a Halo Reach general than I do anything else, at least as far as like mocks and stuff like that goes, or dioramas. But technically this is from Halo Infinite. This is one of the only Halo Infinite figures that I think is actually super incredible. And Mega should have made more of. This elite is pretty awesome. And I really wish they'd make the Halo Reach version, because you'll notice them side by side. There are subtle differences, but they look similar enough. And with that, that is also the same thing goes for this Elite Ultra, which is the same type of elite, or same type of situation where this is technically from Halo Infinite, but I also think the Ultra looks very similar. The one in Halo Infinite looks very similar to the one from Halo Reach, and I really like the Reach Elite designs. They look really good. They're a little bulky, but the designs of the Halo Reach Elites are, you just can't ignore them. Like they're pretty good. And this Ultra from Infinite, even though it's from Infinite, is still one of my favorites. Speaking of favorites, if we're gonna talk more about, let's see, how many elites? That's 3. We got 2 more elites. Let's talk about this guy. This is an honor guard, but it isn't the honor guard. This is the Light of St. Helios, I think is what they called it. And this white honor guard actually did exist in Halo 2, so technically it is real, or accurate, as they say. But it's a great figure and also not a great figure at the same time. There are things about it that I really love, like the fact that it exists, I think is great. The coloring and paint work is awesome. It's not as good as, they've actually done 2 of these. The original one is slightly different, and it's not as good as the original one that is in the old articulation style. That's the problem with it, though, is the other one is in the old articulation style, so it's just not quite as good. But this one has the new articulation, the new hands, and ends up turning out great. It needs to be black here instead of gray. Right where all this detail work is, this should all be black. But it is not. Chaklock? Oh yeah, Chaklock. That's one, yes. Technically, this one is just a generic one. Chaklock, the official figure, I have somewhere. He could be in here. He could also be with just my Halo Infinite stuff. But the official figure is slightly more golden. This one was in Halo Heroes. Let's see. So the official Chaklock is actually Mega's gold color, and the unofficial one is the yellow one. So technically, you're right. It is Chaklock, but they didn't name it that when they released it in Halo Heroes. They just called it Elite General or whatever name they gave it, but technically wasn't Chaklock. But yes, similar design, same thing. This guy just needs black, and that leads me to my favorite honor guard, or my second favorite, but I think this one is probably where they did the best job. This honor guard came in a few different sets way back, I think before 2016, I think. But this is the honor guard from, I'm not quite sure. I know it's not from an armory pack, which they had an honor guard in. This one has a little bit more details, but I'm not sure which exactly one this is. But basically, this honor guard is old figure style, but done immaculately. This one has all of the black detailing the way that it should be. You'll notice that it's slightly different the way that they did the shoulder pads and the arms. This one is far more accurate. These should go up higher and not be connected, but they probably did that due to, I mean, these are pretty flimsy. So maybe due to quality and breaking. I've never had any of mine break like that, but they look a lot better, these shoulder pads. And the detailing, the gold, the work on this one, it looks a lot better. And it's pretty disappointing to see Mega go from this in the older style, which is supposed to be worse, to the newer style with this Light of St. Helios, which just didn't hit the mark. This one's got like little details, and this wasn't even a Halo Heroes figure. This existed before Halo Heroes was even a thing, and it had better paint work and better detail. So, pretty disappointing that Mega backtracked that far on something like that and made it worse. But this figure is truly incredible. I remember getting it on day one when it was released or whatever, whenever that was, and it was awesome to see Mega finally make a figure like this that looks really good. I'm very impressed, and I wish that they would make one like this again. But that leads us to the honor guard that they have today, which suffers from the same issues as the Light of St. Helios, but also is worse than the new articulation one that we've gotten more recently. As in, we've gotten another red one in a different Halo Heroes series, but this is a re-release, and this one's worse. It's got the same gray undertones, the same gray highlights, and it really kind of masks that gold color and makes it look less shiny. It just isn't as good. And the armor pieces, the quality is fine, but it's not as good. The red color here, you can tell, but it's just too bright. It's too toyish, versus the other one's very crimson, much darker, has a lot more black pigment in it, and it looks way better. It just looks way better. So this one's pretty disappointing. I have like 3 or 4 of them just because they're the new articulation, so I'd rather be up to date than not. But yeah, that one's pretty disappointing, I'd say. As far as the Mega stuff goes, it could really be better. Okay, and the last one, if I could have any Mega figure come back, what figure would it be? That's a great question to end off on. If I could have any Mega figure come back, honestly, I would pick I'd pick the Hayabusa figures. I know that they will never come back, but they are seriously awesome looking figures. And I know that I was harping on the fact that we get too many Spartans, but the Hayabusa to me I feel like is special, and it's better than what Mega has released these days with Halo Infinite with the Yoroi or whatever that is. It's classic Halo 3 Hayabusa. And it's a figure that I grew up with my entire time of Halo Mega. And this pink one right here was my first Hayabusa Spartan. And that one was my favorite. Yeah, that was my favorite for a long time. But, yeah, I picked my Hayabusa. But with all that said, guys, that is going to be it for today's stream. thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Thanks to everyone who tuned in while we were streaming. If not, I hope you're enjoying this after the fact. It has been fantastic to do these live streams for the past few days, and we're definitely going to be doing one on Saturday. This Saturday, it is August 17th. I'm going to be starting that one in the morning, so if you can tune into that, I would love it. If not, that's okay, but it'd be great to have you on there. We'll probably be playing some games, maybe doing more of this stuff. Depends on what I'm feeling that day, but we'll check out when we see on Saturday, so stay tuned for that one. And don't forget to stay tuned for more live streams. Thanks for joining the Mr. Woody Club. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. If you have any more questions, now is the time for your questions. But I think it is it's time for us to go. And it's time for us to close out this stream. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Hopefully you can still hear me. But we'll see you next time.